Morning. Hi, it's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Let's get right to something for you guys, because guess what? I already have a pad camera up thanks to Cosmic Perspective. Mary Liz Bender and Ryan Jelinski already out there in the field giving us a live view of today's Falcon 9 launch. This is another Starlink mission. Feels like it's been almost 3 days or whatever, 4 days. Yeah. So the rocket has begun fueling. I have mission control audio pulled up here, so if you hear something in the feeds, you guys will hear it too. So let's go ahead and start off like we always do by giving you guys a pre-launch preview. So of course, I know I say this every time, but anytime you need to know what's going to be happening for any upcoming launch, if you have questions about where it's going, who's the provider, blah, 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 all of the things that are going to be happening, and anything you see coming up in space, we've got you covered, my friends. You just need to go to everydayastronaut.com, click on pre-launch previews here, and you'll get a list of upcoming launches. So today's launch is a Starlink mission. We're kind of just going to stop naming them. Notice in our little thing over there in the top, like right hand of the screen. Oh, wait, we have the telemetry up already. We don't want that yet. No, not yet. But what we're going to start doing is we're just calling it Starlink, because it's like, why are we keeping track of all this? It's going to be completely arbitrary at some point. So yeah, let's see here. Okay, so this is Starlink 14, though. This is the 14th Starlink launch. The time of liftoff is 12:14 and 52 seconds. And as you can see, we've got our clock over there. We're within 30 minutes. Mission name, this is Starlink version 1. These are the first versions of Starlink. This is the 15th Starlink mission, like dedicated Starlink mission altogether, though, which is fun. The launch provider for this is SpaceX. This is a SpaceX rocket launching a SpaceX payload. These Starlink satellites are made by SpaceX, so the customer is also SpaceX. SpaceX and SpaceX. The rocket today is the Falcon 9 Block 5, of course. It's the only Falcon 9 version we see fly anymore. The only other rocket that is currently flying operationally for SpaceX, of course, is their Falcon Heavy rocket. But we don't have another one of those on the calendar until 2021. But this one is, in particular, this is booster 1060.3. So the third 3 means this is the third flight. This is a fresh one. This is a new booster in the grand scheme of Falcon 9 boosters. You know, we saw a 6th flight just the other day, and now we're sitting here at 3 feels fresh. 3 feels young. It's young and just full. It's just spry, just this young little, yay. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's see here. So this is taking off today from Space Launch Complex 40. So the other day they launched from Launch Complex 39A. Today they're at Slick 40, right next door. Literally, you know, they're, I think, only about 5 kilometers apart from each other. Maybe more like 6, but they're really close. But technically, this is at Cape Canaveral Airforce Station, or soon to be, or kind of is, Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. If you're confused, don't worry. All of us are. Everyone is. But basically, again, space launch complexes are always at the Air Force Base, and launch complexes, just LC, are always at Kennedy Space Center. Sorry, and technically they're all out there, kind of on the Cape, but just an important distinction. I'm gonna wag my finger at that every time. Important distinction. Payload mass. This thing is 15,600 kilograms. There's 60 of these satellites, and each of them weigh about 260 kilograms, plus the dispenser that sends them off into space. These are going eventually to the 550 kilometer low Earth orbit. The weather is currently 50% go, and that is still true. Let's see. Oh yeah, I do currently have a thing that says official broadcast. I'm the official broadcast for now in the left monitor. I apologize for that, but you know, it will be the official broadcast in just a second. No big deal. Andrew, you could update it. You can just change the PNG right now and boop, boop, boop. It'll happen. I can be hands-free. But, sorry. Anyway, they will be, of course, attempting to recover the first stage. That is kind of a very important thing for these Starlink missions, is recovering the booster so they can fly them 4, 5, 6, 7, eventually 10 times, et cetera, et cetera. That's a big part of the business case of how they can afford to put up thousands and thousands of satellites at an affordable cost. So they will be landing at 633 kilometers downrange on Just Read the Instructions, their autonomous spaceport drone ship. Will they be attempting to recover the What happened to my OBS? What are you doing? OBS, that is... We don't like to see that. What is happening? Interesting. Yeah, no, that's what I wanted. I want to just... There we go. Don't know what that was, but, you know, some days you just wake up and everything's... You put on a little makeup and everything's... Why don't you put something on the table? I don't know. Okay, the fairing is not expected. They did not send out Go Mystery and Go Mischief. They are, for some reason, not heading out there. We don't really know why. Don't forget, one of them, I don't remember which one, got damaged the other day. And yeah, so now it's, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but these fairings are new. So they're going to have new fairings, and they're not going to be recovering them. Whoops. This will be the fastest turnaround of a booster at 49 days. They're getting down there. They're chugging away at this booster turnaround thing. And if they can really, I think at this point, I don't think it's the boosters that are holding them up. It feels like it's the launch pads. Oh, there we go. We do see venting from the rocket. That is good. They are definitely pressing for flight. You know, that is a good sign, though, that they are, you know, going for that, because it takes a while, though, to refurbish the pad. You know, we did see the pad get down to about 13 days or whatever the other day. That's a quick turnaround. But it seems like the manifest needs to catch up and be able to get these things just kind of rolling out there, you know, once a week launch and no big deal. And I think eventually we'll start seeing those turnaround days of the actual booster really quickly. So fastest turnaround of booster, 49 days. This is the 96th flight of a Falcon 9. Holy cow, it's growing up so fast. The 45th reflight of a booster. So that will close almost exactly as soon as pretty much at 100. Almost, well, just one off, but half of the flights of the entire Falcon 9 history will have been on reflown boosters. That's absolutely crazy to think about. There's been this will be the 63rd booster landing, 19th launch for SpaceX in 2020, 14th landing attempt on Just Read the Instructions. I don't know if you guys can even read this when it's that small on the screen, sorry. 14th landing attempt on Just Read the Instructions. 13th consecutive landing if they nail it. Hopefully they do. 58th SpaceX launch from this launch pad. And the 9th time they've flown a booster 3 times. How about that for some stats? I love it. That's the stuff that I just love it. Here's, of course, the Starlink satellites stacked up inside the fairing. All of the fun things. So, of course, you know, if you guys need to know more about this stuff, we do have an article here that you can read through, and it'll give you a good amount of information here. We should be hearing, by the way, hopefully in about, what is that, 7 minutes or something. Yeah, that we'll be hearing the second stage locks underway, because we do have the launch audio pulled up here, although it's not live for me, which is, okay, now it is. There we go. So, yeah, and everyone say thank you to Trevor for putting this article together. We really appreciate the entire website crew and the mods that help make all of this stuff possible. So everyone say thank you, Trevor. Thank you, mods. Thank you, website crew. You guys are awesome, and I'm so proud of everything that happens. There we go. We do have the SpaceX mission coming up here. I'm going to just go ahead and pull this up full screen so we can see venting while I get that ready. How is everybody? It feels like it's been a full... Wow, I mean, I guess I was streaming, like 18 hours ago or something, so it's been a long time, guys. It's been a really long time. I do have their stuff pulled up here, so hopefully this gets going here soon. It's currently just 3 dots, but meanwhile, I will answer some of you guys' questions. First off, hello, Discord. How are you guys? Okay, so Lee Dixon says... my second grade class is watching now and they love rockets. Can you say hi to Mr. Dixon's class? Wow, that is awesome that Mr. Dixon is watching a rocket launch at school. That's a school I want to go to. That's a teacher I want to have. Hello, Mr. Dixon's class. Thank you so much for tuning in, wanting to see a rocket take off today. I mean, I can't think of a better way to spend your Thursday morning, personally. That is... Honestly, that is super cool. I wish more teachers would get people excited about spaceflight. You know, this is going to be... Today's launch is a pretty routine launch these days. It's pretty crazy to think that a 22-story tall skyscraper, basically, taking off and going into space is considered routine. But that's the world we live in right now. It's an exciting world, and thank you, Mr. Dixon, for sharing that with your classmates and with your students. I really appreciate that. All right, so this is from Fred. Is this launch from a prior scrubbed launch? I mean, every launch at some point, I feel like almost every launch is like a prior scrubbed launch. No, this is kind of, this is its original placeholder date. The GPS mission might be one you're thinking of. GPS was supposed to have launched a solid month ago, and it still has not gotten off the ground yet. So, yeah. Let's see here. Let's keep going. Samir, hey, Tim, can you rate rockets that are now operational in terms of weather resistance? Love from India, eagerly waiting for the Soviet rocket video. Well, you will have to wait a little bit longer, Samir. We switched gears while I'm waiting for peer review for that video to... I have that script. It's 22 pages or 23 pages or whatever of rocket engine history.
Load is closing out.
Oh, what are they saying? I missed it. But that's probably something that they were saying. What did they say? Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the Soviet video. So instead, really quick, I'm almost done with the script. A really comprehensive script comparing Starship and Falcon 9. Like, how are they the same? How are they the different? Like, what new technologies are on Starship? How does it work? How does Starship work? Because I still get a ton of questions about all the subsystems, and I have a lot of videos about different systems, you know, like the fins or, you know, the metal or the Raptor engine, but I don't have like a comprehensive place to put them all together where you really understand the full picture of Starship, how Starship works, why it's so next level, and how big of an upgrade it is compared to Falcon 9. So that's what this video is going to be about, and I'm going to try and crank it out before I head down to Boca Chica for the serial number 8 Starship hop. So that's going to actually happen. I'm probably also going to shoot the Soviet video, hopefully, before I leave too, and begin kind of editing that on the road. So, yeah, get ready. There's going to be a lot. There's going to be 2 hours of content coming out as soon as we can get it done. It's just a matter of editing. But holy cow, we have nearly 2 hours. It's a lot of content. And the Falcon 9 versus Starship thing are like kind of comparing them. I hesitate to say versus, but because I always do verses, but this one's just going to be more, you know, yeah, how does it work? Yeah. So as far as terms of rockets that are weather resistant, the Falcon 9 is not. The Falcon 9 is extremely fine. It's probably one of the poorest rockets as far as weather resistance. It really does not like upper level winds that are changing directions, because as the rocket ascends, you know, it can experience extreme amounts of loading and bending, basically, inside the fuselage. When it changes, if the wind's going, you know, this way, and all of a sudden, as it switches between those atmospheric layers, you know, which it can do in a second, all of a sudden the wind's going the other way, that can literally put bending momentum into the fuselage of the rocket, and it can destroy the rocket. So they have to be cautious. They know the limits, the bounds of the vehicle based on engineering. And the Falcon 9, because of its fineness ratio, which is its dimension between that's the ratio between how tall and how long, how tall and how wide it is. It's not very good at handling extreme weather. Soyuz, on the other hand, I think Soyuz is at the top. Soyuz, they're like, go. It just seems like there's almost nothing that will deter the Soyuz rocket from launching. But yeah, so who really knows? Yeah, we do have a lot of venting. And we still don't have the SpaceX live stream up. They might be scrubbing, but I don't know. Don't forget, guys, that venting, that is not smoke. Literally what that is oxygen. It's the oxygen that was liquid inside the tanks. As it expands out and boils off, they vent it out as a gas. So it warms up from liquid to a gas. When it does so, it expands 1,000 times, but it's still extremely cold. This might be detanking. I don't know. We'll see. That does seem quite a bit. Oh, there we go. It's shut off now. Maybe it's no big deal. Maybe it's no big deal. Let's just keep listening here. Oh yeah. Sorry, my friend just texted me. I have an important, while we have so many of you here, this is something I need to get the word out for my friend, one of my best friends, really good friend of mine, is working on something in LA. If you live in the LA area or would consider living in the LA area, you're really into space, and you know how to run a restaurant. Those are your requirements. Run a restaurant. Run a good restaurant. I have a friend working on something that I promise you will love. If that is you, tell your friends or whatever. Crap, what is... I keep forgetting the name, the email that he wants me to send you guys to. It is... let me look through. Hold on. This is a bad plug. It is on the moon res@gmail.com. On the moon res. On the moon res. Send your resume there. On the moon @gmail.com. On the moon res@gmail.com. If you know how to run a restaurant, know how to run a kitchen, have done it before, have experience, you love space, and you live or could live in the LA area, please send your resume to onthemoonres@gmail.com. I promise I'm excited about this for my friends, so hit them up. This I promised I'd give them a few plugs, so you might get sick of me hearing about that one, but it'll be worth it. Musical Wolf says, good morning from Yellowstone National Park. Sweet. If someone on the ISS has a medical issue, can they do surgery in space? I think the best thing to do would be to get them home immediately. They can come home in a matter of hours. I can't imagine a situation where they could make a impromptu surgery station that would be a better alternative than just returning home and getting them proper medical attention than like hey, let's just kind of make a table here. You're going to be floating around, and we don't really have a proper scalpel. We're just going to use the spoon here. Like, I just feel like it'd be a lot better if they just came home. I mean, sure, of course, they could probably do, like, something extreme emergency. You know, a limb gets mangled or something, and they need to do some kind of extreme, precaution, of course. Like, there's things that, someone could do.
LD on countdown. Hold. Today's attempt is scrubbed for mission assurance.
Did you guys hear that? I don't know if that came through. Hold. Scrubberoni. All right, change the clock, Andrew. Change the clock to scrub. Now we see venting. There we go. Scrub because of weather. We still got some questions to answer here for you guys, so let's get through a couple of those. Rob Speed says, grab yourself a coffee, Tim, and pop the change in the Tim to stay on Earth and send the Astronaut to space instead fund. I really appreciate that, Rob. That is awesome. Mukesh says, Tim, what happens to stage 2 after deployment? Good question. So the second stage will either deorbit itself. If it's a low Earth orbit mission like this, it'll literally once it deploys the satellites, it turns around and eventually deorbits. It'll do a small burn, which makes it so that it comes in contact with the atmosphere on the, basically on the other side of the Earth where it is. And there's a separate exclusion zone for reentry, and it's almost always in this like graveyard in the Indian Ocean. So it's kind of the furthest point from really anything, and there is a there's a NOTAM there as far as the boats know not to be in the area and stuff like that, and they do re-enter the second stage. So that's kind of what happens there. Otherwise, if it's a geostationary transfer orbit, they'll kick that upper stage out into a graveyard orbit, they call it. So, yeah. Yep. So there we go. That's what happens at the second stage. Dylan Walter, thank you so much for the membership. All right, this is from the Elon Gamer. Hello, this is coffee money. My mom is a patron, and I always loved your vids and live streams. Thank you. You do a great job, and it will always entertain me. Well, thank you very much, the Elon Gamer. I appreciate you stopping in and saying hi, and I also appreciate your mother's Patreon support, too. That really means a lot. Pierre Simonson, did you know that Sweden will start to launch satellites soon? I don't know if I know about Sweden's satellite launch vehicle. I know there's, Orbeck from the UK, or wait, where's Orbeck actually? They're launching from, oh, great. Scotland, basically, right? Yeah, I need to look into them. They're basically making a very similar rocket to Rocket Lab's Electron. Orbex is launching from Shetland in Scotland. Thank you, Andy Law. Awesome. Thank you. This is from 3TG Galgan. Could you see the re-entry burn from the ground, or is the booster too high at that point? By the way, greetings from Czech Republic. Of course you can very clearly still see. If you guys want to see a video that will blow your mind, I'm going to pull that up here for you guys. This is still one of my favorite videos, like one of my favorite videos ever. All we have to do is we have to look up Falcon Heavy Astronomy Today. This is an awesome video. I'm going to just pull this up here. This was through a telescope.
This is our family's healthcare.
I don't want an ad for people. I'll just keep this here. I forgot when I do these streams, I go into a whatchamacallit window. What's that called? Like an incognito window, and it still just shows me crappy ads all the time, as opposed to normally I have YouTube Red or whatever, YouTube Premium. Okay, so this is from here we go. This is from Astronomy Today. He's the one that kind of got us going with what you're seeing right now on the right side of your screen. That is a telescope feed from Cosmic Perspective, but it is Astronomy Today that got us kind of going on this whole setup. He was able to track watch this, the Falcon, the initial Falcon Heavy demo mission from launch to landing with the telescope uninterrupted. There's times where it gets a little bit dicey, but watch this. This is insane. So I feel like this is going to take a long time. But you can see the entire mission from, up here. It's going further. He tracked it all the way. You can see booster separation and everything coming up here. Watch this. You can actually see booster separation. This is pretty amazing. There we go. There's the two boosters. They have separated. You can kind of see them. Just barely. But he is able to track these boosters all the way back down. So don't forget, the boosters have to do a flip maneuver, because right now they're facing what was prograde. They were facing the direction of travel, of course. That's how they work. But now they're doing a boost back burn where they turned around, and they're now having to not only cancel out their current velocity, like slow down, they actually have to slingshot back, basically, and point themselves back at the launch pad. So that's what these two boosters are doing, which is just the coolest thing ever. And then, so after they do that boost back burn, they coast for a while. He was able to track them coasting, which I don't know how when they're that faint and that small. But you can see them. I think pretty soon here they will light up and do their entry burn. And boy, oh boy, you can see it out of the Cape. If you go out to a rocket launch that is a return to launch site landing, you will absolutely see the entry burn, the re-entry burn. I still think it's re-entry because they're re-entering the atmosphere. They were in it. Now they are re-entering. I don't know why SpaceX started just saying the entry burn, because I don't know. But how cool is that? Is that not about the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life? I mean, come on, right? Yeah, so you can absolutely see the re-entry burn from space. So they're from the ground. Yeah, there's video proof of it. I think that's the coolest thing ever. Yeah, you guys have to watch this video. It is just absolutely astonishing. One of my favorite videos on the internet. Yep, check that out. I don't want to spoil it for you. I'm sure you know how it goes, but I also don't want to just play someone else's video. Watch this. Go check this out. It is one of the coolest videos on the internet. All right, let's see here. Since we got a few more questions, let's answer a few more of these. Let's see. This is from Christian. Says, "Hey Tim, I always watch SpaceX streams only, but for the past couple months, I can't imagine launch without your stream. Keep being awesome." Thank you so much, Christian. The one thing that, I don't know, obviously, I don't know everything that they know. They are going to have, that's why I like to listen to the official live streams, is because they're going to be telling us things that I don't know, obviously. And I'm not an expert, but I sure really enjoy this stuff. I eat, sleep, breathe, all this stuff. This is what I love to do. And I love to bring some of that excitement, bring some of the knowledge that I've learned over the years to you guys and help answer questions and just help, bring us all together. I talk about this all the time, but I feel like especially 2020, it feels like there's so many things tearing us apart. And this is something that we can all do together. We can all come together and watch humanity achieve awesome things. And in this case, those awesome things are through the wonders of spaceflight, of course. So, so thank you so much, Christian. That means a lot to me. Liquid Chris. You're from Iowa when 22 stories is a skyscraper is sent from Iowa's tallest building, 801 Grand in Des Moines. That is so true. And that's only like 45. You're right. Hey, back in the day, 22 stories would have been a skyscraper. You're right, though. I think the tallest building in my county is like 15 stories tall or something. But still, even standing under a 15-story tall building, looking up and imagining a rocket taller than that landing. I mean, well, I guess the booster is 15 stories tall. Pretty crazy, honestly. Pretty crazy. Let's see here. Okay, so Mark Harrison says, "Keep up the great work." Thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate that. 404 Not Found One says, hey, Tim, thanks for all the videos and streams. Shame Rocket Lab didn't go yesterday, but always better safe than sorry. Hope this one does. Sorry, it took me a while to answer this, but as we know now, Rocket Lab, I realize they're also probably being extra cautious with that particular flight because they're relaunching some of the payloads or some of the imaging satellites for the customer that they lost on the 13th flight. So I think they're being extra cautious. If they even see like a mosquito landing on that rocket, they're going to be like, oh, we better scrub, you know. I think they're just being very, very, very careful, which is good. But hopefully they're still able to get that thing off the ground here relatively soon. Josh says, any updates on the Thunderbirds flight? I can't wait to see what you do with the footage. That is a great question, Josh. I need to hit them up again. Once the pandemic kind of started hitting, I kind of forgot, honestly, and I don't even know if I still have my medical. I had to send them my medical stuff. Did I ever even do that? I got a checkup and everything. Man, great question. I do hope I'm able to ride with the Thunderbird still once everything is kind of cleared up, maybe next year. Good. Thanks for the reminder. Hunter Hall says, was at work at JPL at 4 a.m. during Iridium 7 launch, saw boost back and landing burn while the Spotify playlist synced up on speakers of a roof at JPL. That sounds magical. I think I'd almost cry if I like just seeing something like that would just be so gorgeous. Oh man, some of those Iridium launches, and what was that one? Oh geez, I'm gonna forget it now. It was Salcom. The original Salcom mission from Vandenberg had that. People like were calling in UFOs because the boost back burn and everything was so crazy. But well, first the second stage burn was just lighting up the whole sky because of the way that is the twilight phenomena, and it was backlight scattered. So the rocket was so high. It was nighttime on Earth, but the rocket gets so high that it's hitting the sunlight is hitting the plume of the rocket. And it is especially bright when the sun is behind the rocket from the vantage point of the viewer, because it like totally, backscatter illuminates it. And people just literally thought it was like the end of the world, a giant UFO alien thing. And then all these pulsation things coming off of it when those are just the small cold gas thrusters doing their impulses to flip and point and guide back towards the landing pad. That was one of the coolest thing ever. Let's see here. I think that's going to be, guys, I'm going to get out of here because I still have to record my podcast today. For those of you that don't know, yes, every single week I do a podcast with two of my friends called Our Ludicrous Future. So if you want more from me, you want to hear my thoughts on, say, OSIRIS-REx, or hear my thoughts on the 3 Raptor static fire that happened, or hear my thoughts on this week, we're going to be talking, we talk a lot about like self-driving EVs. We talk a lot about futurism and renewable energy. This week's big topic is probably going to be the full self-driving beta that came out with Tesla last night, started rolling out. Maybe I'll get that soon. We'll see. And so we'll be talking a lot about that. So if you guys do want more content from me besides just my long, basically hour-long mini documentaries that I've been producing lately, go to olfpod.com. olfpod.com. You'll find links to either our YouTube channel here, Our Ludicrous Future, or the things on your, podcast players and stuff like that too. So hopefully you guys are part of that. But yeah, if you guys do want to help support what I do, consider becoming a Patreon supporter, where you'll gain access to these upcoming scripts. We're going to be doing a read through of the Starship versus Falcon 9, or How Does Starship Work script here, maybe today, guys, if not for sure tomorrow. And then there'll be a read through of that as well. So if you want to get a kind of a snippet of that, or give your feedback if you have any good ideas, or you find things that I missed, or you have questions about things that you want to make sure I include in the script, you can do that by becoming a Patreon member, by going to patreon.com/everydayastronaut. And yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. Yeah, that's it. What a short, hopefully this thing takes off tomorrow again or something. So, here's from Hunter Hall again, says, I did cry while watching Salcom 1B from Grizzly Park in Berkeley that day. It was nuts. It would be the same way. That is crazy. Thank you for sharing, Hunter. That is awesome. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I'm Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, bringing space down to Earth for everyday people. Goodbye, everybody.